You guys are welcome, you Giants fans out there, for, we're teaching you some secrets. Talk Shit Sports, Angel O, Jimmy Weed, in the place to be. So, Jimmy, what are we talking about?
Well, NBA playoffs are going on right now. I know you're a little bit sad because your Lakers are no longer in.
I'm glad you found me. I went in hibernation.
I know. I haven't been able to find you in the last week and so I was wondering where you were.
Well, my basketball team's not in the playoffs. My baseball team's in third place. What else you want?
Coming back down to reality, it seems.
It's a long season there, but I guess we'll talk about the NBA, which I don't want to talk about, but we'll talk about it anyways.
Well, there's a lot of other people that still like the NBA.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Well, the Joker is the MVP.
Yes, he is.
Congratulations.
Sixth international player to win the award.
Wow. I was reading he was like the 41st pick in the first round.
2014. 41st pick, it had to be in the second round.
In the second round then.
Second round.
In 2014. Right?
Yeah. And look, I think a lot of players were probably deserve of the award this year. I think Chris Paul was one of them. Steph Curry the other. To me, Joel Embiid was there as well for a while. I think his injuries towards the latter part of the season is what did him in. Giannis was not the same. They had given it to him 2 years in a row. I don't think he was going to win it a third time. And obviously, LeBron was out for a long time there.
I don't think Giannis should have won it last year. I think LeBron should have won it.
I agree.
2 years in a row was too much. And he didn't even win a title or anything. He didn't even go to the finals. But no, it's great. Joker got like I don't know how many. Who was second?
You know what?
I think Steph Curry was number 3.
Steph Curry, I think, was 3, maybe.
I thought he'd be a lot more votes for Steph Curry, but
I think he, at one point he deservedly.
I thought he was going to win.
The favorite, yeah.
I thought he was going to win.
I thought so too. I think we mentioned it one time.
I think him not going into the playoffs, losing that game, maybe was that hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, but even though I don't think the playoffs have anything to do with the voting for MVP. I think
don't either.
Ends before that. So, but regardless of that, I mean the numbers that Jokic put up was over 26 points a game, over 8 assists a game, almost 11 rebounds per game, and then 38.8% from 3-point range, and like 87% from the line. I mean, he was consistent. He was there.
No, he deserves
it, especially after Murray went down, with Denver. So he basically had to put the team on his back, and the Nuggets. I think they're a decent team. I don't know if they'll reach the finals.
I don't think so.
I think both the Suns and Utah, to me, are the two teams that will probably be in the Western Conference Finals. And which one of those two goes to the finals, I don't know. Because to me, the Clippers, I don't think they can make it to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, who knows the Clippers? I mean, the only thing they got going for them is what's his name? Not Paul George. Paul George was horrible yesterday. He missed.
Kawhi has been.
He was like 2 for 14. Paul George.
Yeah, like 4 for 17.
And at the end of the game, he kind of stepped up. But Kawhi is the only thing they got. I mean, they got a couple other pieces. Rondo makes a big difference.
Yeah, he does make a big difference.
I mean, they made it closer than I thought they would yesterday with Utah.
Well, they had like a 14, 15 point lead at one point.
At halftime.
And at halftime, they were up by like what, 13?
Yeah.
By 13.
Yeah.
And then they just fell apart in the second half.
That Donovan Mitchell, he's a special kid.
Yes, he is.
He was
really on fire in the second half.
He stepped up his game. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of these, younger NBA players that are stepping up, and we're seeing like, a new era in the NBA. You've got Donovan Mitchell. You've got
Booker.
the kid in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, the little guy. Trae Young.
Trae Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's just incredible.
I mean, they're better than I thought they were. Atlanta. I think Atlanta is going to win the series. I have a feeling. Joel Embiid is kind of, if he don't play,
exactly.
they're in trouble.
He just came back from like a meniscus.
He's got a tear
or something.
He has a little tear still.
Yeah. So
yesterday he pushed what's his name? Gennaro, what's his name? Danilo Gennaro.
Oh, Gallinari.
Gallinari, yeah. He pushed him, and then he had to go on the bench, and they had to put this heat thing on his knee right away because of the tear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this guy is gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's like AD. He's like AD.
Yeah, without Embiid, forget it.
Yeah, without Embiid, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
But going back to Denver, and they thought that the Denver would lose to Portland because Murray was out, and Joker actually, man, they made a strong statement with that first series with Portland.
Well, the only thing about Portland is they really don't have a number 2 after Dame. Lillard is just, he is a special player. I mean,
they're not going to have Dame either.
4. Yeah, exactly. I don't know where he's going to wind up, but.
Well, you know where he's going to end up.
The Lakers?
That
would be. Hey,
I mean, if I was him, that's where I would go.
If he wants to win right away, yeah. There's probably a couple of other places. Now, is he a free agent?
I don't know. That I don't know. But if he is, Rob Pelinka better get on the phone right now and start making some phone calls. A lot of people better
get on the phone because that guy's special.
Well,
that guy is special.
Yeah, that is special. And then you have Utah Clippers, like we were saying. I thought, well, Utah was missing Conley, Mike Conley Jr.
Yeah, Mike Conley.
That's a big difference.
He'll be available for game 2.
That's a big. I mean, that's a 25-point, 10-assist player.
And that's your point guard. That's the guy that runs the show. Donovan Mitchell, yes, he can do the same thing, and he did it in game 1. But he's like your number 2. I as far as a guard, I'm saying he plays the 2 spot.
I mean, the Suns fans. I mean, the Utah fans were brutal on Paul George. Overrated. It was so loud. The announcers, you couldn't hear the announcers.
Well, you know what? I think that Paul George hasn't done much.
It's a mental thing with this guy.
Clippers.
It's a mental thing because I've seen Paul George light on fire. Like,
oh yeah,
and it's like
I don't know what it is.
Mental, like what's meant. I think he gets in his own head. He needs like a mental coach. Hey, Paul George, you need help? I'll call me.
There you go.
I'll get you in the right mindset, brother.
Absolutely.
And we'll get that little stinking thinking out of your brain, make you an all-star. Well, you're all-star, but you got to win a championship. Nets and Bucks. I don't know who's going to beat the Nets. I mean, geez. I mean, you see what they're doing to the Bucks? They're manhandling these guys.
I have no idea what happened to the Bucks. The Bucks played them extremely tough in the regular season, and they actually beat them the last 2 regular season matchups because they don't have somebody who really, matches up with Giannis down in the paint. And that's the problem. But man, they have been on fire. And they got
Blake Griffin. Where's this guy been?
I know.
All of a sudden he shows up.
He's been tearing it up from 3-point land.
He's been absent for 5 years or 4 years.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden Blake Griffin shows up. And the funny thing is that I said on the show, I'd rather have Blake Griffin than Andre Drummond when he was available because he wasn't injured. I mean, Blake Griffin he was an all-star. I mean, he was a good player and he made a big difference in the game.
Athletic.
And they're gelling right now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, God, Durant and Kyrie. I mean, geez.
Oh, they don't have the beard. I mean, he went out again.
Imagine if he was in the game. They would have won by 100.
He went out, with another hamstring injury. I mean, we don't know if he's going to come back. Right now, you know what? I wouldn't play him.
They're playing well.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him right now. Just because if you do advance, which I think they will, then you would rather play them in the finals.
That's what I would do.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
Save them.
Absolutely. Save them and don't play them. And just because they can't stop KD. I mean,
KD
the Bucks
is a monster.
cannot stop
the
KD.
The only way the Bucks, I think the Nets get in trouble is KD gets hurt, and that's the only way. If KD's on his game right now, I mean, KD's a monster, man. He's so silk smooth, like a
dude, 6'11", and he plays like a point guard.
He's got a shot, everything. Like, yeah, I think the rest of the NBA, I don't know who's going to beat these guys, but I don't know. It's not going to be anybody in the East, but the West. I mean,
in the West, I think you've got
Utah and the Suns, but I think it's the team with the deeper Suns. Bench. Who's got a deeper bench? You know, what's interesting is that not interesting, but for the first time in my life, I was going for Utah yesterday. It was kind of weird
because they were going against the Clippers.
Yes, but. One of the other things that made me feel better was Jordan Clarkson showed up in a Kobe Bryant jersey.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he wore a Kobe Bryant jersey to the game and after the game. Like that was what he wore to the game, number 8. And obviously he's his teammate, mentor. I'm sure. And I don't know how the Utah fans received that, but who cares? But you got to respect, the Mamba. And Jordan Clarkson, old school Lakers. It's pretty cool.
Devin Booker, paid tribute to Kobe.
Oh yeah.
At Staples, at the last game
when he beat the Lakers. I know.
When they beat the Lakers, so
he should have paid tribute by joining the Lakers and wore number 24.
They could have had him.
Maybe we will. There's room for Booker too.
That's something that Jeannie Buss has to answer to.
Yeah, well, or her brother, right?
Or her brother. Yeah. Why they didn't get Devin Booker?
Well, Joker. I mean, there's a lot of questions you could answer. How did anybody get Joker?
That's true too.
I mean, I think next year wins the MVP is going to be what's his name? Luka.
I
think MVP next year for Luka.
He's going to win it one of these days. Yeah, that kid is.
And he's going to sign a $200 million max. They're saying this summer. $200 million.
I'd pay it.
Well, guess who Joker qualifies for it?
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, Luka is something else.
Yeah, too bad. I was going for Luka. I thought he was going to beat the Clippers, but he didn't have enough.
I wanted him to beat the Clippers.
Hurt. He was hurt.
He had a shoulder problem as well. So
plus Porzingis, he's not his second best. He needs another second best player.
Yeah. They need a real number 2 down in Dallas, and it's not Porzingis.
So I think Atlanta's going to beat Philly. They'll beat them in 6. They'll beat Philly in 6.
Then the Nets are just going to absolutely destroy Atlanta.
Oh, they're gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be walk to. It's. You knew that was gonna happen with the Nets. Who's gonna beat the Nets? If the Bucks are. I mean, Giannis has already gave up. You hear what he said the other day? He don't know how we're gonna stop. You get the reigning MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, talking about how don't know how to stop Durant.
The one thing that I love about Brooklyn right now is that. You know how Giannis takes a lot of time at the free throw line, right?
Yeah.
You've got 10 seconds to do it.
Right.
So what they did over at the Barclays Center is they put up on the big screen, not the 24-second shot clock, but on the big screen, a 10-second count, right? And all the fans started counting down the minute he touched the ball.
I like that.
And then the NBA came out and said, "Oh, you guys have to stop that because you're frustrating him, you're confusing him, or you're bothering him." I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? If I'm the Nets, I tell my fans, you know what? If we come back, do it even harder.
Well,
and be louder.
What's the difference in the little plastic?
Exactly.
What's the difference? I think that's more distracting than saying. Wow.
Yeah, but come on, give me a break.
They're softening everything up here now. Jeez Louise. Okay, that's NBA. I'm on vacation for NBA till next year, but save my NBA, talk for next year. But we're coming. But boxing, we talk about boxing. We had you call it a fight? What was this last? It was on a Sunday, which is weird. Mayweather, Logan Paul.
So you because I was like, wait a minute, we're gonna talk boxing. Let's see who fought this weekend. No, that was an exhibition, and the reason why they fought on a Sunday is because Mayweather said, well, all the big events are on Sundays. The Super Bowl is on Sunday, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay,
not on Sunday night.
I'm like, I don't know, but tell you what. Let's give credit where credit is due. Logan Paul, I thought he was going to look foolish against Mayweather. He didn't. First of all, he looked like, I don't know, Andre the Giant there against
David and Goliath
against Mayweather. He looked absolutely massive compared to Mayweather. And that's one of the things that I think really bothered Floyd. He couldn't get inside.
No, he's too big.
He's too small. He's 5'8".
And Floyd's not a
5'2", 6'2".
And Mayweather's not a knockout puncher. We know that.
No, obviously not. You know, he was fighting someone who was at least 30 pounds heavier than he was going into the fight. And Logan Paul, you know, he managed to hit him with a couple of nice jabs that stopped him in his tracks. There was one time where apparently Floyd hit him with a right-left combination, and Paul just sort of like dangled on top of Floyd. And they said that had Floyd not held him up, Logan Paul would have gone down. I don't know about that. Really. I didn't see Floyd connect anything that would have, you know, told me, oh, he's got the chance of knocking him out. I thought he was going to make him look foolish. I really did. I thought he was going to move, bob and weave, and Logan Paul was not going to find him at all, whatsoever. That he was going to be swinging wildly. Tell you what, man, I'm impressed by the fact that not only did he go 8 rounds with Floyd, but he moved, he jabbed pretty well. The only thing that I don't think Logan Paul does well is throw uppercuts. Other than that, I mean, I've seen worse fighters.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've seen worse fighters. He obviously, you know, his brother Jake was talking a lot of smack. They're like talking shit really towards the end of the fight. Say, oh, my brother beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm like, come on, get a grip.
Yeah.
But it was, look, it wasn't an interesting fight whatsoever. And if people thought that Floyd was boring while he was, you know, an actual boxer, this didn't dispel any rumors about that, because it was boring. I mean, I thought it was a boring fight.
It's probably more exciting than his normal fights. I mean, who knows? I didn't really see the whole fight, but I saw bits and pieces of it. But I don't know. It's just, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he could have knocked him out. He did knock him out. Who knows? Like, it's all show anyways. Who cares? I think the Ocho Cinco fight was better, they said.
Yeah, the Ocho Cinco fight was better. And Ocho Cinco actually, like, he took a right hook shot, to the jaw, and he went down like a sack of potatoes.
Ocho Cinco, but he got back up, I heard.
But he got back up. Hey, he made $1 million for $8 minutes. $1 million for 8 minutes worth of activity. So, hey.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of people fighting now.
More power to him.
I mean, I think he called somebody out, like, after the end of the fight. McGregor or somebody, right?
Yes, he said he's ready for McGregor. Yeah, well, that would be interesting.
But you know what's funny is that Mayweather made McGregor look more foolish than he did with Paul.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I thought he was going to make Logan Paul look absolutely foolish, and he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. Oh
yeah, the Paul bro, they know how to fight. They're getting trained by it. Well, they had Logan Paul was getting moves from what's his name, Ryan Garcia was in there teaching him some stuff.
Well, he's been trying to box for a while, even though he only had one fight before this against KSI and he lost. So he came into this fight 0-1. But
against 50-0 and 0-1.
Exactly. It was fun for them, I guess. Whether it's good or bad for boxing, look, I think they're two completely different things. The people that follow YouTubers and what they're doing is a completely different crowd from the people that actually watch boxing. Maybe a lot of people are watching, now just to see what's going on, but I don't think, it takes away from actual fights. Now, if one of these guys does fight a real fighter, then we're going to see what happens. And if it's a real fight, because then one of these guys is definitely going to get hurt. One of these YouTubers, they're going to get hurt.
Well, that's the thing, is that if Mayweather would have fought somebody his size, and he would have hurt him. Yeah, he could have hurt him really. Yeah. I mean, he had to fight a bigger guy like that. It was not fair. It's a guy his size. Well, he would have tore him up easy.
Yeah. Well,
even without knockout power,
he said at the end of the fight, he goes, "Hey, I'm 44. Obviously, I'm not 20, 25 years old anymore. I don't move the same, this and all that."
Oh, yeah, you move the same.
And he said that he didn't train, a lot for this fight.
Of course he didn't. Of course he did. Of course he does. He's not. He still moves and runs away. He just does what he does.
I mean, he's got the same defensive skills that he had before. Maybe his reflexes aren't the same. He was in tip-top shape. But whether he made what he said he was going to make, I doubt it. Because he said he could make $100 million on this
I think
fight.
he thought he was going to make $100 million. But
there's no way.
I don't think.
I don't think so. Because from the numbers that I saw prior to the fight, they had to have at least close to 5 million pay-per-view buys for them to make that type of money. For him to make $100 million and Logan Paul to make $20 million, which is what he said he could make, they would have to have close to 5 million pay-per-view buys.
What are the numbers?
I don't know. They haven't come out yet.
And it was only $49.
Right.
Yeah.
So Floyd was guaranteed $10 million plus 50% of the pay-per-view. And Logan Paul was guaranteed $250,000.
$250,000?
Yeah, and 10% of the pay-per-view.
Okay.
So I don't know. It depends on the actual numbers. But they'll probably make, a few mil. Floyd will probably... I'll say Floyd makes 30
out of this. Good for them.
Not bad.
Not bad. I mean, there's fighters that'll never make 30 in their whole career. They're fighting real fighters.
Yeah.
But
talk to Dana White.
Yeah,
he doesn't pay his fighters.
Well, I think Dana White and De La Hoya should fight in a celebrity.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd see that. I'd pay for that.
Yeah, me too.
Just because, they've been going back and forth on social media.
Well, speaking of 30 mil and having a good life with Canelo, I mean, he's...
Oh.
Man, where's this guy at?
Well, he got married a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
to Fernanda Gonzalez.
Like a wedding of the century over there.
Yeah, well, he had Maná play at his wedding. Banda El Recodo, Los Ángeles Azules. And he had a bunch of people there.
And then he was in... Where was he at?
He went to Croatia, on his honeymoon.
All right, Croatia is beautiful.
Yeah. Yes.
What a different... That's cool. It's a different... everybody goes to the same places all the time.
Exactly.
Bora Bora, Maldives, but he went to Croatia, which is
pretty cool.
It looked amazing. It looked like he had his own castle to himself.
Yes. He had all sorts of stuff, and he was having a good time.
Right now he's golfing. He's in the tournament in South Carolina. He's getting ready.
I'm telling you.
The guy's he's going to be a scratch golfer.
He's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot better at golfing.
His coach is with him every fight. His golf coach is with him from San Diego.
Oh wow! Well, see, when you have that type of money, you can take your
golf
coach anywhere you want.
I mean, I watch. I'm calling it. Canelo will end up being a scratch golfer. Watch. He'll be a.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him just because
he's already shooting in the 80s. In the tournament,
that competitive.
In the tournament in Lake Tahoe, the celebrity they have every year. I forget what they call it. He was with Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. He shot in the low 80s. I was like, wow, already? And he just started golfing
like 3 years ago.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys golf their whole life, they don't shoot in the 80s. But that's really good. So, well, awesome for them. That's boxing. Well, actually, we got Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao coming up there. That's in a couple
August
months.
21st. That should be interesting.
That's going to be a real fight.
That's a real fight.
Because Manny fights.
Manny
no matter how old he is, he
the
fights.
only thing about that weekend for boxing and for that pay-per-view is that the WWE decided to have their SummerSlam the same night.
Oh, wow.
At Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Raiders.
Oh,
so this fight is going to be at T-Mobile Arena. But can you imagine? You have WWE's SummerSlam the same night. I don't know if that bodes well for Pacquiao and Spence.
Well, I think Pacquiao brings a different crowd to the.
True.
I mean, all the Pinoy power,
and he's going to be the one that drives that promotion.
The Filipino
Earl Spence, I don't think he can draw flies. Sorry, Earl, but I don't think he draws flies.
Errol
compared to
Errol will draw a couple rappers and a couple of people to the his crew, whatever.
And if it was in Dallas, maybe. But not Vegas.
He hangs out with he's got that crew.
But I don't think he's as big a profile as Pacquiao.
Absolutely
no way.
No, Pacquiao's the money, and that's why he wants to fight Pacquiao. Yeah. He could fight somebody else.
Oh, absolutely, he could fight. Everybody wants to fight Errol Spence Jr.
Yeah, but everybody wants to fight Pacquiao to make money.
Yep.
And Logan Paul, and Jake Paul, and Mayweather, and wherever the money's at, it looks like this. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm going there.
It's all about the money.
I'll fight a senior citizen just to make money. They'll fight. They'll go anywhere. So
they could.
But I think don't be surprised. I don't know how Manny. I know Manny. I see he's been posting. He's in the Senate. He's working in the politics. But don't be surprised. Manny Pacquiao takes down Errol Spence. Just
a lot of people have said that they think that
it depends
Manny
on his
can
training.
win.
It depends on how he trains. If he's
Yes.
serious for the fight, or he's in it to just make some money and out. But I wouldn't be surprised.
He's got to have a little bit better stamina towards the end of the fight because he got tired against Keith Thurman, and that's why Thurman, did a lot better in the last few rounds, just because Pacquiao got tired.
Yeah, but he's got to pace himself because he comes out like an Energizer bunny.
I know. Well, he's 42.
No, I know he's 42. That's me. I'm not 42. I'm older than 42, and I'm gassed out at fight camp. I do only a couple rounds. But Errol Spence, when he fought Danny Garcia, the last fight, he beat Danny Garcia, but not really beat. I mean, he beat him.
Yeah, he beat him.
He beat him, but Danny Garcia stood in there the whole time. I mean, it wasn't like.
Remember, he was coming off of that horrible accident. It was his first fight back. Right. There were a lot of doubts.
Right, but that's me seeing that fight and saying, okay, you're gonna fight Manny Pacquiao, who Thurman beat Garcia no problem, beat him easy, and you got so it's like
and Pacquiao at 40 years old,
beat Thurman,
so
which I think Thurman is still recovering from. I haven't heard from Thurman since.
Nobody wants to fight Thurman. I think he talks a lot. Nobody wants to fight Thurman. However, there are talks that Keith Thurman and Sean Porter are going to do it again later this year.
Why don't you fight Omaha? What's his name from Omaha? Crawford or Spence. There's so many fight. I don't know. These guys these promoters.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That's the problem. Promoters.
One of the good things they said about this whole Mayweather-Paul is that the promoters are out of the way.
Yes,
the fighters are taking matters in their own hands now and making all the money, creating the fights, and this could be the future of boxing, branding themselves. Who knows?
It should be.
It'll be like Kimbo Slice. Remember in the backyard?
Yeah,
he branded himself and. He YouTubed his way to a professional, to get into the real fighting, man. Rest in peace, Kimbo Slice, man. But those are good fights. Those are real fights. Now moving on to baseball, we got some conspiracy with spider tack.
Spider tack. It's a sticky substance that apparently pitchers have been using for quite a while.
Like Gerrit Cole.
Like Gerrit Cole.
Oh no! He said traditionally he didn't say he used it, but
well they asked
have him
him
swiping his glove.
Yeah, they asked him point blank. Well, have you ever used spider tack? And he couldn't answer. He couldn't answer the question. He said, this. I don't know how to answer that. It was kind of like. What do you mean? How can you not know how to answer that? It's either yes or no.
It's kind of like asking my daughter, "Did you clean your room?"
Well, let me turn the lights off.
Or did you throw everything in the closet? Right. Yeah. And that's what Gerrit Cole.
That's basically what he said. I mean, if you read between the lines, he has,
but he didn't say yes.
Exactly.
And they got him on camera where he wipes his glove, and the thing is that they were showing his velocity. How when this came up the last couple games, how it just dropped. His velocity is dropped dramatically.
Look, the one thing that I don't think they're doctoring the baseball, but what they're doing is if you use this sticky substance, it gives you better grip.
Of course, and the spin.
So obviously,
I know as a pitcher,
that's exactly what these guys are trying to do. Get a better spin ratio.
Yeah.
For the slide. I mean, he's got one of the best sliders in the game.
With spider tack or without it?
With spider tack, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, it's a big difference. I was a pitcher, and chewing bubble gum, putting that, and spitting that ball is a big difference.
So it's a big, and now MLB has said that they're really going to crack down on all sorts of illegal substances or doctoring the baseball or whatnot.
I just hope it doesn't slow the game down because it's getting better. It's getting fun, better. It's just like all these rules. It's like, you can't cheat with spider tack, obviously, but bubble gum or something maybe it's legal. I don't know.
Well,
make it across the board.
Can you imagine if they really would have wanted to stop this stuff way back when? Remember Phil Negro?
Oh, geez.
And what he used to do? I mean, he used to go on his cap and he used to swipe it left, right, up, down, thumb, index finger, God knows what. He used to go behind the ears, the nose.
Yeah.
You never knew where he had stuff. And towards the end, he said, yes, he used Vaseline and he put it everywhere.
Yeah, I mean... I mean, I don't know, man. Baseball, sometimes they get these. They're too little overboard, on certain things. So you let them have fun. I mean, it's not hurting anybody. Is the ball's curving a little bit more? Whatever. I mean, these guys are taking a.
Well, I think the one thing that baseball is worried about is that we're seeing batters either hit homers or strike out. There's nothing in between, really. Right. So they're probably trying to cut down on the strikeouts and get, hitters to be able to hit the ball more, put it in play. I don't know. But
they can bunt. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like baseball. You can't even drink an energy drink because it's like, you got more energy, hit a home run. You know, like, whoa. It's crazy because I've dealt with being in the supplement business. I've dealt with some MLB stuff because we try to get the supplements into the MLB, and it's like, man, you got to go through like an act of Congress just to a testing. It's just they can't even have over the counter stuff from GNC over the counter,
right?
Yeah, which is like it's not illegal. It's illegal there, but not here. It's like I don't know. It's a little bit over extreme, but look, baseball is great right now. There's a lot of new upcoming superstars. I mean, the home run race is getting crazy right now.
It's crazy.
You got Vlad Jr., you got Ohtani.
Ohtani just hit another one this week, which was 470 feet or something. Yeah. It was something ridiculous. I mean, what this kid is doing is just...
Get him off the mound. He's an everyday player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He don't need to be pitching.
I agree.
First base all day.
I agree.
Keep him as long as you can, right?
This guy is unbelievable. And then Tatis Jr. as well. I mean what he's doing...
Hey, how about Albert Pujols?
Exactly.
He just passed Babe Ruth. He hit a home run a couple days ago in Atlanta. I mean, wow. I mean, what a guy got cut and then joins the Dodgers and he's actually helping the Dodgers, doing good.
He actually is. It's good. It's a good story. It's a feel-good story.
It's a feel-good story. Or he passed Barry Bonds. Was it Barry Bonds?
No.
Or Babe Ruth.
Babe
wow.
Ruth.
I mean, past Babe Ruth?
Yep.
God, that's pretty. That's for a guy like that, a good guy like that. When Bonds was doing it, it was like, oh, Bonds is a freaking.
Well, nobody liked Bonds. His head was like 3 times the size when he was with Pittsburgh.
I mean, he was like he turned into Bobby Bonilla. Like, what the heck happened?
Yes.
Right. Bob Bonilla is getting paid, I think.
He's still getting paid
next month, right?
July? As a matter of fact, July 1st.
July 1st, Bob Bonilla.
July 1st, he's collecting another $1 million.
Shout out to Bobby Bonilla getting paid, I don't know. But, I was funny. I was watching, we had a game, and there was a guy missed first base. You see that home run yesterday?
With Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, off Bueller. Hayes.
Yeah. Well, he was...
I think he was shocked he hit a home run.
I don't know if he was shocked. He was just looking at, where it landed, whatever. He was, I guess everybody tries to, admire their power.
But how do you miss the base when you're in Little League?
Completely miss the base.
When you're in Little League, touch the base. Don't forget.
Completely miss first base. He went around, did his home run trot, whatever. He came back home, whatever. And then, the Dodgers were very aware of the situation. Hayes, let him go into the dugout. And then,
touch the base, Hayes. Stay on the base.
And so they called him out. Replay showed, he missed first base, and so the home run didn't count. They took it off the board. You got to credit. I think Austin Barnes caught it from the dugout. He caught it. One of the Austin Barnes. He was on the dugout. But what's crazy is that Hayes, I think in a few innings later, got a double, and he slid over second, and they tagged him out. He slid past. I was like, stay on the base, touch the base. This boy needs to learn how to run the bases. This is basic Little League stuff. I mean, what are you doing, Hayes? Oh man, but that was good for us. That's MLB's. It's still we're almost midway. We're midway, 60 games into the season. What is it? We got another month for mid-season. Yeah, because the All-Star game is July. All-Star game is like the second week in July. Yeah, I mean baseball's baseball. We'll see. Well, they've played 60 games, which is the number of games they played last year. Right. And the one thing that you can see is the difference in playing almost every day, like a regular 162 game season, and you see all the injuries. Of course. And so that's why I think, it's a completely different thing to play, a regular MLB season and a shortened MLB season, just because everybody's fresh when you get to the end, when you get to the playoffs. So it's not the same.
Okay, so what's your point?
I'm just saying it's not the same.
They still counted.
Yeah. Well, like I say, to me, it's got a little bit of an asterisk because of that fact.
The asterisk is the Astros. Is asses. That's an asses.
Yes.
Asses throws. They should be the asses throws. But it was only 60 games. They played the postseason and the World Series too. So the Dodgers still were recovering from things back then. So, but still early. The Giants are in first place again.
I mean,
I think we need to go up there and sweep them again just to teach them a lesson.
Unbelievable. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest surprises of this season thus far is how well San Francisco's playing. I never thought that they would be this good.
Well, how about Tampa Bay?
Well
in the East,
I mean, especially after they lose, a couple of their pitchers.
To the Padres.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, good GM, good. They got a good farm system.
Absolutely.
But our guy from the Dodgers is up there running the Giants now. I forgot his name.
I don't know. Who
he came from the A's, and then he worked for us. Then he was in our GM. He just worked for us, and then now he's up there. We're in the Giants, so you guys are welcome, you Giants fans out there. We're teaching you some secrets. But moving on to that's baseball. Moving on to NFL, we have Julio Jones got us a new home.
He finally got what he wanted.
But Tennessee?
Well, you weren't going to trade him to an NFC team, right? I mean, if you're the Falcons.
I mean, well, I guess he had no say so in the trade, I guess, right?
I guess not. I mean, he probably would have wanted to go to the Rams. Probably would have wanted to go to a team that's
Packers.
Ready to win. I don't know if he wanted to go to the Packers.
Seattle was in the mix.
So cold. Yeah, Seattle was also in the mix.
So you think Atlanta wanted to send him somewhere besides the NFC?
I think so. That's what I would do.
I'd figure the NFC South. Anybody besides the NFC South, but
you just don't want to see him, come back.
He's going to light it up. I mean, I don't know, Tannehill. What they got? They have the other receiver, Brown, and they have another guy.
Brown. I mean, they're decent receivers. The only problem with Tennessee is they've got no defense.
Yeah, I mean they got an amazing running game.
So they've got. Look,
Tannehill restructured his contract for that.
Well,
so does that mean it was a free agent or a trade?
No, it was a trade.
Because Tannehill had to restructure his contract, and he did it just to get Julio Jones, which any quarterback I think.
Well, obviously, to fit him under the salary cap or something,
right?
And I'm sure he's going to want a new contract as well.
Of course. So he's probably one and done, like one season and done.
I think so.
He's getting older though.
He is, and he's had a lot of injuries. Yeah. The only good thing about him going to Tennessee is that they play on natural grass and not on turf. So that will help his knees and all his ailments.
But it's not a dome.
No, it's not a dome. But it doesn't get that cold in Tennessee.
I don't know. I think it does.
Yeah, but it's not Green Minnesota. Bay. It's not Green Bay.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm surprised he didn't go to Tampa Bay.
I don't think they have any room over there anymore. I mean, everybody signs with Tampa.
I think Brady would have put his contract down to have $500,000 a year and brought Julio in and won another Super Bowl. Because Giselle has all the money, so we don't worry about that.
Oh, absolutely. She makes more money than he does.
Yes. See?
But
you need a Giselle.
I need a few Giselles, not just one.
Just one. All you need is one Giselle. What do you need? 2, 4? You don't need 3, 4, or 5 pains in the ass. You just need one that has a lot of money, and you'll be good to go. Watson, I don't know. He's been MIA, but his girl's back on social media. I guess they're okay. And there's a rumor that Watson wants to join the Broncos out of all teams. The Broncos.
Well,
is he from Denver? I don't think so, right?
No, he went to school in South Carolina. He went to school in Clemson. So he's definitely not from the West Coast. That was one of the rumors. Where's Deshaun Watson going to go? I think it's a good fit in Denver. He would get away from all the problems out in Texas. The only thing is it all depends on what happens with his legal issues,
which is kind of disappearing. Have you noticed?
Yeah,
it's kind of going away.
We haven't heard anything in the last
I think he's
month
been,
or so.
Well, he's been writing checks.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
I think he's been forking out some money, shutting people up.
The NFL hasn't said anything.
Maybe he'll learn not to go on.
The Texans haven't said anything.
Well, maybe he'll learn not to go on Craigslist and get massages from women on Craigslist.
Craigslist and Instagram.
Instagram and
stay off of Instagram.
Dude, just get a professional. Just stick to one person.
Yeah,
come on, dude.
I'm telling you, man. All these guys, just because they have the money, they think that they can pretty much do whatever they want.
There's a lot of thirsty people out there, man. You got to be careful.
Thirsty.
There are lawsuits flying everywhere. I mean, come on.
Very thirsty.
Learn your lesson, Watson. Get a professional and keep your hands to yourself.
Yes, you don't have an O line to protect you in these issues. So yeah.
Well, that's our show, Jimmy.
That's our show, man.
I know you got to go. You got to run. You got to.
I've got a graduation coming up. My son is graduating from elementary school.
Awesome.
And moving on to junior high, the last one.
Which tell him his hands to him, careful.
Oh, exactly. That's what I've got to teach him now. Keep your hands to yourself, boy.
The birds and the bees. You got to have that conversation.
Man, this is the hardest age to me to manage kids when they
junior high.
Junior high.
It's like make it or break it.
Not only that, but all of a sudden, all these hormones start hitting these kids, and they don't know what to do.
Who you telling? I became a dad at 16 years old.
So it's like, what? Oh my God! Yeah, it's a rough patch.
You can see at junior high school where they're going. It's like I remember going to junior high. It was like started going downhill after the last year for me. Yeah, you the party, the ladies. My
you
baseball.
You can take a wrong turn in junior high, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, but I've been able to get 3 of them to stay on the straight and narrow at least till now. So hopefully I can do it with one more.
You got to be 4 for 4.
That's right.
Come up and bat 4 for 4. And that's it. Knock it out of the park. So that's our show, guys. We'll see you next week, and we'll have some more information, and hopefully we'll have some better news on some sports.
Yeah, we'll have some stuff, and if not,
Dodgers will be in first place next week.
We'll just sit here and talk.
We'll be in first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dodgers will be in first place next week. Damian Lillard will be a Laker next week. Or next couple weeks. But anyways, take care, everybody. We'll see you soon. Talk Shit Sports. Angel O, Jimmy Wee, we out.
See ya.